Former cigarette smokers. How did you quit? Got diagnosed with a tumor and needed surgery, and thank God it was only surgery. The doctor told me smoking isn't good for scar healing. And I guess that smoking can't be very good either when you have a carcinoma at 29. My wife was 3 weeks pregnant when surgery happened too. I stayed 1 week at the hospital and 6 at home for recovery, without a lot of social interaction. So I had a lot of motivation and not a lot of opportunities to smoke. I mostly smoked in social events or when particularly stressed. And I had none of that. I wouldn't recommend the method though. I've been smoke-free for a year now. I still miss it. I smoked for like 8 years. I kept waking up and coughing like crazy, like really bad. And I'd always feel out of breath, and it was just getting in the way of my physical activity. I just threw the half pack I had left in the trash and raw dogged it. This because I was an absolute ass of a person for like a month and still eyed how sustainable it is because I still want to smoke, but I was just getting tired of feeling like I couldn't breathe. By eating at Arby's. One day I was hungry and the only thing nearby was an Arby's. I hadn't been to one in quite a while and couldn't remember if I liked their horsey sauce or not. Turns out I did not. Sucked it up and ate my food. Had a smoke as soon as I left to get the taste out of my mouth. Only, the cigarette somehow amplified it. Then, for the next few days, whenever I smoked all I could taste was fucking horsey sauce. I'm not sure what wires got crossed in my brain, but it worked. Got one of those thick-ass red rubber bands they use to group your mail together with and put it on my wrist. Every time I wanted a nail, I flicked myself instead with the rubber band, in varying intensity depending on craving. If I gave in and had a dart, just sat there flicking myself with the rubber band. Pavlov's torture to train myself that smoking pain. Wasn't a heavy smoker or regular smoker. Just wanted to get off the social smoker and end it for good. It worked eventually. Used vape products. Took it down to 0% in 6 weeks. Another 2 and I was past the need to have something in my hand. 3 others in my office quit and each was different timing. My take is it's important to do whatever pace you're comfortable with whatever you're using. Patches, vape, gum, cold turkey. Don't let the pressure of perceived failure deter you. Go at your pace. I felt better personally in about 6 months. I smoked for 16 years and a pack a day. Sometimes pack and a half. Vaping, ones where you put in your own liquid. Started with 12 milligrams nicotine and gradually reduced the caffeine over months. Then when I was a 0 nicotine I was like, who am I fooling here? And stopped that as well. Now, I do occasionally still vape 20 milligrams nicotine disposables because I enjoy it. I still have the sense of addiction when I have it in the house, like it's hard to stay away from it. But when it's not in the house it's fine. It's fucking addictive. I started cycling to work and realized it was slowing my commute down and making it harder on my way home. So having exercise goals is always good. Even if it's just a walk. I understand exercise isn't possible for everyone. After that it was just my evening ones which went down to rationing, then after a few months those seemed pointless. I also realize that if I have one after a few too many at the pub doesn't mean I need to be horrible to myself. I used to roll my own since I started smoking age 15. I had managed to reduce my daily consumption to about 5 a day. But then my hard-living mother-in-law stayed for a week, and I went through 3 packets of tobacco. I felt so shit after she left. I just stopped and haven't had a smoke since 8 months. TBH, I don't feel any different. I still get a bit breathless after a hike and I cough about the same as I did when I was on 40 a day. Alan Carr's book The Easy Way to Quit Smoking is a Phenom Resources. It's a short book that's essentially a cognitive behavioral therapy script. He makes you question every lie you tell yourself about smoking. He actively encourages you not to quit smoking when you start the book, but at some point through reading it, you're just over the smoke and you put them down yourself. Check the Amazon reviews. It's extremely helpful. Switched from cigarettes to vaping. After 2 weeks of vaping, I decided to try a cigarette again and I absolutely could not stand the taste and put it out after just a few puffs. Now I'm at the point where I need to win off vaping. But that feels like it will be easier than quitting cigarettes cold turkey. I'd say what you need to do in general is start small. Every step towards quitting is positive. Rome's not built in a day. When you decide to quit, don't say to yourself, after this pack is done, I'm done. It has to hurt. Throw away the pack before it's gone. Throw away the carton before it's gone. If you're going to smoke the last one, you're not serious about quitting. I wasted a few packs and cartons before I made it. And when you've quit, never ever put one in your mouth again. That shit is like meth and you'll be starting all over again. I smoked 2 packs a day and absolutely loved them. Coffees and cigarettes. Beer and cigarettes I tried to quit hundreds of times. So one vacation in August I was going to an island by plane, flying in with another couple with 2 canoes for 5 days in a remote location. The plane would come back in 5 days to get us. I didn't take any cigarettes with me and forced a cold turkey. Last cigarette was August 11, 1984. Set a date and quit cold turkey once I hit the 10-year mark. I knew it was time. Convinced myself that I was no longer a cigarette smoker. Tried a puff within the first couple days of changing my perspective and vomited. Shifting your mindset is key. You aren't a person trying to quit. You are a person that no longer smokes nicotine. I continue to smoke weed. So never considered myself a non-smoker. I've smoked for 25 years. I quit almost 5 years ago. I had to take a couple runs at it. But I quit using medication from the doctor. That's the only way I found I could quit. You still smoke on it for 2 weeks. Then it slowly releases the nicotine from your body. This I had to do twice to quit successfully. I've tried other methods over the years and found that only that worked for me specifically. I smoked as a younger teen, but only when someone else was offering. When I turned 18, I was prepared to start getting it for myself. But then my state passed a law changing the age minimum to 21 the literal week prior. I'm very lucky that I didn't really crave it or experience withdrawal. So I forgot about it and didn't end up going back. I guess I was more of an emotional social smoker. Self-torture, smoked for 18 years, 2 packs a day. Went cold turkey, in absolute agony for about 2 months. Put 14 times the amount a pack of cigarettes cost into a savings account once a week. And at the end of 2 months put a down payment on a motorcycle I had wanted since I was a kid but couldn't afford. It's now been 18 years since I've had a cigarette and I am on my 3rd motorcycle. Switched to vaping. Got sick with COVID and had a terrible cough, to the point where I couldn't vape without a coughing fit. Had hubby hide my vape and got Jolly Ranchers for when I wanted the taste. Found myself nervously trying to find it sometimes out of habit, but it's been over a year and I haven't picked up any nicotine since. Turned to vaping after about 10 years of smoking. Weaned down to 6 milligrams nicotine for a few years, but couldn't make the leap to nothing. Frankly, I enjoyed it too much and didn't want to stop. Then I got cancer. Threw away the vape pen right then and there and didn't pick it back up. Jan 2nd, 2020 was my last puff. I was already smoking weed when I tried cigarettes. I got really into it the first 3 months until one day I bought a pack that didn't taste good. So I just got fed up and stopped and stuck to weed. Also, it was really annoying bacon to go out to get a pack TBH, whereas my plug was literally my neighbor. I was already smoking weed when I tried cigarettes. I got really into it the first 3 months until one day I bought a pack that didn't taste good. So I just got fed up and stopped and stuck to weed. Also, it was really annoying bacon to go out to get a pack TBH, whereas my plug was literally my neighbor. Out of spite, my 81-year-old boss who has lung cancer was getting on my back about quitting. So I basically said, "Fuck you, old man. I'll cold turkey it." Haven't had a cigarette since December 15th. I've tried to quit a few times, but this is the one I think has stuck. They repulse me now. It might sound weird or stupid, but boy did I love my cigarettes. One time they didn't have the ones I smoke and I bought something way of that cigarette and I felt nauseated. I stopped right there. My friends never believed me, but here I am 9 years later. I smoked for 3 years. Lived in Chicago then and caught pneumonia. I was put in a medically induced coma and on a vent for 3 months. I was one of the lucky ones. Today I was discharged. The doctor asked me, do you want to smoke or do you want to breathe? I smoked about 10 years and quit because the girl I liked was against smoking. I read The Easy Way to Quit Smoking and swore if I smoked again I would have to read it again. It's been 20 years or so. The girl was around 6 months. I smoked 30 a day for more than 30 years. I read Alan Carr's book, it got me thinking. So happened I was changing jobs. Decided I would go to new job as non-smoker. It has worked for me. Have never smoked since. 15 years off them. Got to the point where walking up to flights of stairs made my chest want to explode and breathing was a chore. Got scared and quit cold turkey. 3 years later I feel so much better now. And don't cough up grey shit anymore. Cinnamon flavored toothpicks actually. I cold turkey, and that was it. First 2 weeks and 2 months were hard. After that I slipped, and that was my first lesson in you can never have another cigarette in your life. Smoked weed for 2 months. Every time I was thinking about cigarettes I rolled a joint or took a toke. Been smoking cigarettes for 9-ish years. 1 to packs a day. Tried quitting several times but weed finally did it.